Ladies and gentlemen, imagine a vehicle so British it practically smells like rain, tea, and slightly questionable road decisions. The 1974 Bedford CF Campervan wasn't just a van. It was a rolling declaration that freedom doesn't need to be fast, it just needs to start. And let me tell you, back in the day, this thing didn't chase speed records. It chased sunsets, bad maps, and families arguing about sandwiches somewhere near Scotland. The Bedford CF was developed in Luton, where engineers worked under the broader influence of General Motors' commercial strategy. The mission was crystal clear: create a versatile, modern, adaptable van that could handle tradesmen during the week and transform into a leisure escape machine by the weekend. By the early 1970s, something interesting was happening. The middle class in Britain and Western Europe began to grow, and suddenly people wanted more than just working all week. They wanted to escape. Caravan culture exploded, and campervans became the new symbol of affordable adventure. The Bedford CF arrived at exactly the right time, like that one friend who shows up with snacks when you didn't even ask. Today, only a few thousand CF-based campervans are believed to survive, often lovingly restored or modified, which means if you see one on the road, you're not just looking at a van, you're witnessing a survivor of an entire cultural movement. The CF featured a front-mounted engine with rear-wheel drive, a layout known for durability and ease of maintenance. This wasn't some complicated engineering puzzle. This was straightforward, reliable British design that could be fixed with basic tools and a bit of patience. Or, in Timmy's case, duct tape and misplaced confidence. Engine options included inline-4 petrol units, typically 2-liter, producing around 60 to 80 horsepower. Later, a diesel variant was introduced, offering better fuel economy but less power. Perfect if your goal was to enjoy the journey very slowly. The transmission was usually a 4-speed manual gearbox, sending power to the rear axle. And yes, shifting gears in this thing required a certain level of commitment. Not athletic, but definitely emotional. The suspension setup balanced comfort and practicality. At the front, it used independent suspension with coil springs, while the rear featured a live axle with leaf springs, allowing it to carry weight without complaining too much. Braking was handled by front disc brakes and rear drum brakes, which at the time was considered a respectable and relatively modern configuration for light commercial vehicles. In terms of size, a typical camper conversion measured about 15 feet 9 inches, 5 meters in length. The curb weight ranged between 2,800 and 3,300 pounds, 1,270, 1,500 kilograms depending on the conversion. Top speed reached approximately 70-80 miles per h-hour, 129 kilometers per hour, which means it could technically keep up with traffic, as long as traffic was polite. Fuel consumption averaged around 20-25 miles per h-hour, which for the era and purpose was fairly reasonable. They bought it to escape responsibilities, and occasionally their in-laws. One of the most important technical advantages was its low floor height, achieved through compact drivetrain packaging. This made it ideal for camper conversions, especially when fitted with elevating roofs, allowing occupants to stand inside, a luxury that made a huge difference on long trips. And that's where the magic really began, when a simple van turned into a home on wheels. By the time we step inside a 1974 Bedford CF Campervan, we immediately understand its philosophy: practical freedom without unnecessary luxury. This wasn't about marble countertops or gold-plated faucets. This was about having just enough comfort to make you feel at home while still reminding you that adventure doesn't come with room service. Conversion companies like Dormobile turned the CF into a compact living space with fold-out beds, small kitchen units, gas stoves, hand-pump sinks, and clever storage cabinetry. Everything had a purpose, and nothing was wasted. The famous pop-top roof added extra headroom and sleeping capacity, turning a humble van into a surprisingly functional mini-house. The design focused on usability. You could cook, sleep, and argue about directions, all within a space smaller than most modern kitchens. Timmy once said he could live in a camper like this forever, which explains why he's been divorced more times than this van has gears. Meanwhile, Bob refuses to step inside one because he believes the pop-top roof is clearly designed for satellite surveillance. Bob also thinks pigeons are government drones, so we take his opinions carefully. It wasn't the fastest, it wasn't the most advanced, but it was accessible and dependable. Two qualities that matter far more when you're 300 miles from home and your only navigation system is a map that looks like it survived a hurricane. Owners often praised its reliability. One story from a British camping magazine tells of a CF camper covering over 100,000 miles across Europe with minimal mechanical issues. That's not just durability, that's commitment, or stubbornness, possibly both. Looking at the 1974 Bedford CF Campervan, we don't just see a vehicle. We see a lifestyle that prioritized freedom over speed and experience over perfection. It proved that adventure doesn't require cutting-edge technology, it requires a reliable machine and the willingness to go somewhere new. Back in the 1970s, a Bedford van started at a relatively modest price in the UK market, making it accessible to working families. Adjusted to today's value, that places it roughly in the range of $10,000, $15,000 equivalent, depending on configuration. Fully converted camper versions would naturally cost more due to customization. In today's collector market, prices vary widely depending on condition and originality. Restored examples can reach $20,000, $35,000, while project vans may sell for significantly less. Unlike rare exotic vehicles, the CF remains affordable and approachable, which is part of its enduring charm. Huge thanks to the sponsors of this channel. Yes, that's you legends who hit the join button. Without you, Timmy would still be trying to fix his van with a spoon, and Bob would probably start a podcast about alien campers. Stay curious, drive safe, and if you ever buy a vintage camper, just remember, check the brakes before you check the playlist.